Help me welcome the author of Confession of a Mad Black Coach, Brooklyn, USA, Hall of Famer, Ted Gustus.
Y'all ready?
Y'all ready?
Yeah. You have stepped out into the world of chaos, where everybody goes hard. Come on. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Or go home. Never back down. You gotta hold your own. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. East Coast. Go hard. West Coast. Go hard. Midwest. Go hard. Dirty. Hurry up, everybody, get online, buy your tickets, cause the game about to start.
Hey, Gustus.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Coach? Oh, man, good to see you.
Great to be seen, man.
Oh, man, you looking as young as ever.
Oh, man, this is fantastic, man. Good to see you. All right?
Yeah. So, first of all, I just want to say thank you for joining us here at Basketball Heads. It's been a pleasure. It's been a long time waiting because me and Rob been talking about this for a long time. Actually, Tiny Morton was my first guest.
Wow.
And he talked about the importance of giving you guys your flowers while you guys are here.
Mm-hmm.
Because one day, Rob Phelps, Tiny Mortons, the Will Jacksons, they're going to be the Ted Gustuses and the Ray Haskins of the world.
Exactly.
Yep. So, first of all, I would like to ask, who introduced you to the game?
Hey, believe it or not, I started playing basketball around the 8th grade, man. I was at junior high school, 57, Whitlaw Wing, right there. You went there as well, man?
No, but I live in the community and I know a lot about it.
Yeah, man, I was at 57, man, and just doing some crazy stuff out there, and like any other kid from Bed-Stuy, do or die. And I had this white teacher, man, this young white teacher by the name of Barney Davis. He must have been about like 22 years old. I was like 15 going into my 9th grade. And he was new at the school, and in order to keep us intact and out of trouble, he used to invite us at lunchtime into the school to play ball. And I wasn't really into ball like that. I played handball, and I was a singer with a group out there called Soul Redemption. So basketball wasn't my thing. And this man introduced me to this game. And the 8th grade and my summer years, man, I went over the summer and I started practicing this game and putting in time. And I came back in the 9th grade at 57. It was a wrap. I had this crossover dribble, jumper, everything, man. Even Barney said, what happened? I fell in love with the game. And I started going to Walt Frazier and Emmett Bryan's basketball camps back in the days when Walt Frazier was Smooth Clyde. And
Yes.
man, I wanted to shoot like him and do everything like him. And I began to really develop a love for the game at that time. And to be honest with you, Barney was the first one to introduce me to white people. Because, you're in Bed-Stuy, the only people that you know was white, either was teachers or bill collectors or what we call the bulls, which is the detectives and the police officers and so forth. But I went outside of that and I started playing with his team, the Wrens, and I was like only about 2 black kids on the team, me and this kid named Fred, who's a friend of mine. Loved it, man. So I credit Barney Davis all the time, who's a great coach, a great person, still in the community, coaching girls. He coached a lot of people in our community. And just shows you what a young teacher could do, come in instead of being so afraid to embrace the young people in the community. So I credit him for getting me started every time I get a chance. Barney Davis.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. I talked about my coach Bobby Hartstein and how he took us up to Shenandoah, New York, and had us stay with the opposing team's family. Right? We went to school with white kids at Lincoln, but we never really interacted with them like that or went to their homes.
Right.
So Coach took us up to Shenandoah. We got to, eat dinner with the family, get to know them, and see how the other side lives, right? And all it does is just broaden your horizons because of the world and the country that we live in.
Exactly. You know, it had such an impact on me because at that time, Martin Luther King, about my 6th grade, 7th grade, Martin Luther King had gotten assassinated, and the place was in turmoil. And when I finished at 57, you always go to the high, you know, because Boys High was the school. So especially if you had New Orleans, you go to Boys High. And I visit Canarsie High School for the first time, and there was not many black people there. And I was into that mode, like, look, you killed Martin Luther King, I'm coming to this school, I'm going to integrate this doggone school. So I went in there, man, and we had some incredible times, man. It was busing a lot of us. I had just moved to Brownsville, and so they started busing us from Brownsville into the Canarsie area, Canarsie High School. But what they didn't realize, they was busing some hell of a basketball players from Brownsville, like World B. Free, Earl Thomas, you name it, O'Neal Tarrant. All of us we just started going into Canarsie High School. And we had a great Canarsie High School basketball coach by the name of Mark Reiner. So incredible. So from 57, I went to Canarsie, and that's where I got the coaching of Mark Reiner.
Yeah, I read about that. At that time in the neighborhood, who was that guy in the neighborhood that everyone looked to? Like, who was the guy, the main ball player that everyone looked up to?
At that time, you had World B. Free, always looked up to him. Of course, you always got Fly. He Fly, you looked up even if you don't want to look up. He made sure he see you. Because Fly was...
That's right.
He was. And then Jocko, Greg Jackson, Jocko. And then I came up in around 219 Park, off of there, and around that area, the Lincoln Terrace Park. So out of that came Joe Washington. Oh my goodness. Yo, hey, Joe Washington was incredible, man. If you're
Where did he go to school?
What? I don't even know. He didn't go to school. He was schooling people. But this guy was dunk on you, man. He was incredible. Anybody that knows the hood, ask Bernard Harding about Joe Washington. And by the way, Bernard was a great player from out of Wingate. So incredible. So basically, Joe Washington, Beaver Washington, that's Beaver is Pearl Washington, older brother. So we all came.
Yeah, I heard he was pretty good.
Pretty good. Ron Jonesy, all the Brownsville guys, and then over there with the Niles brothers, and of course you had all the Bernard King, where we all came up together in that side, you know. So it was pretty cool, man. We had some great players during that time. The 70s and the 80s were great basketball players that came out during that time. That's when New York, especially Brooklyn, was the thing, you know?
Yeah, I just put out a series, The City Game, and they talked about the different boroughs and the players and which players had the greatest impacts. So I hope people found that entertaining and very informative.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
You be putting out some stuff, man. You're on top of your game, man. You ain't coming up.
Thank you.
Stuff, man. I heard a lot about you, man. In fact, so many people said to me, Coach, you got to get on the show, man, because the brother be rocking it and so forth. And I said, all right, you know, so Phelps called me. Eric Hicks called me. Ray Haskins called. Everybody's like, Coach, you got to get on it. I know you're going to be able to get some stuff to him as well. But I'm excited about being here with you tonight, man. I really am.
This is why we created the platform for guys like yourself. My partner been trying to talk me into this for a long time. It's like, yo, this is what we came up doing, right? And we need to give our fellow ball players their flowers over here because we lost so many, especially during this time.
Oh man, we lost a lot of guys. I lost a total of 24 people during this time, and I include my ball players, all of them, all the great Mo Kirby and all of the
Yes,
guys, man. And, oh man, and relatives and family members. So that's why
yes.
when you say
Look, I cried when Mo died. Like I sat here just by myself, and a real good friend of mine. We came up together, competing against each other.
yeah, yeah,
And just always kept a tight brotherhood. That basketball bond kept us tight.
well, you got to know Mo Kirby and all of them. They played in my junior high school league. Lawrence Pollard, Phelps, all of them. I had one of the biggest junior high school leagues that ever existed in the city. And them boys, all of them played. I had all of those guys, man. And it was incredible watching them play. They traveled from school to school. That's when middle school basketball was really at the top, man, really tight.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was the starting points, right before like the AAU and stuff kicked in heavy.
Yes, and
Yes. Question: did you play in the Brevoort Sports Foundation?
now, why would you ask me that question? That's not even a question. You should have said, "What did you do when you played in the foundation?" Who didn't play in the Brevoort?
I got coach. I'm a journalist now, so I gotta ask these questions.
Wait a minute. This is basketball heads, right? So if I played ball and think my game was anything, I had to play at the Brevoort. Man, we couldn't wait till those lights came on. My team was fly though. I had some great ball players. When I came in there, I was with Jocko, I was with Fly, I was with World, I was with Big Bo, all the guys, Willie Hall. We had the whole Brownsville crew, man. We used to go and wipe up people, man, left and right, man. We get on that court. Jocko used to call a play for me, and it was 7. And 7 was a straight up clear out, so you couldn't play no zones. It was a wrap because I had a wicked crossover dribble. So when he called 7, it was over with. Now,
Right.
If you don't know, you gotta ask somebody. I know you know me from coaching, but you didn't see me really play. So, but
Now, let's someone today, a friend of mine who lives in California, he now resides in New York. He grew up in California, ball player. My guy, Sean Cali Hawthorne, he said, oh, God could play. I seen him play in the 50 and over or the 40 and whatever league in BRC.
right.
And they said he was giving the work. He put that in my comments today.
Wow, isn't that something? Yeah, that's that 50 and over league. We love that 50 and over. I retired from there after taking 5 chips. Like the kids, I took 5 chips. Me and my boy, I had Earl Fuller, all of those guys, man. We just went in and won. That was it, man. With Earl Fuller, man, that's a beast, man, from South Shore High School. Went on to LIU and so forth. Yeah.
Yeah. He was tough. He was tough. So, how much of an impact did your high school coach, Mark Reiner, have on you?
Man, let me tell you something. Mark Reiner was an amazing coach, man. And what I liked about him is he understood each one of his players. And I did very well. I played as a sophomore, a junior, and a senior on the varsity basketball team. And he always taught me about being what I normally did. I started coaching when I was in high school. So my junior year, I was coaching basketball. And Mark Reiner was one of the person that really influenced me because what he did, he saw that I was involved in the community. I'll never forget, man. It hurted my heart, but at the same time, I understood. He said to me, you see World Be Free? World is going to be a professional basketball player. He said, but you're not. Now, could you imagine you're in high school and you're like, yo, He said, not that you can't play, you my starting point guard and everything. He said, but you have a greater calling, and your calling is the community. You're going to be some politician, you're going to be a community activist, you're going to be something in your community to do things. And that stuck in my mind so much that I just engrossed that and got it and picked it up. And I credit him for seeing that in me and making sure that I understood my priorities when it came to basketball and coaching, and I would have the ability to influence the lives of thousands of young people at an early age, because I was always mature as a junior and a sophomore. And actually, because I got left back, you know, in the elementary school.
Same here. Same here. I don't run away from it. I don't run away from it.
So I'm proud of it because we made it through. You know,
That's right.
we had to
Yeah.
go through that experience, and but and my junior year, my senior year in high school, I met, really got to meet Lester Roberts from St. John's University. We were, myself and Bernard King, our team was the first wheelchair classic team, the first Brooklyn, USA team that played like Baltimore, Philadelphia to raise money to help build up St. John's. And back that time,
I didn't know that.
Tours
Wow.
Unlimited. Yeah, so we were the team then, back in those days. Playing.
Hold on, coach. One second. So you saying they took the best guys from Brooklyn, USA, and you guys played other cities? You guys didn't play other teams in New York City?
Yeah, we played other cities, man. You know, we had teams from Philadelphia, Baltimore, all of them. They would come down. We would pack St. John's, and I never forget because we were playing to raise money, to get new backboards and everything at St. John's. Man, I remember like it was just yesterday. And boy, we would have those games there, and everybody would come out to see us play. But Lester Roberts was one. He taught me how to love my players. He loved his community, but he taught me how to love my players, man. And I'm so grateful for that part of him because I was into the disciplinary side of coaching and everything, but at the same time, the love that he had for his community was off the chain. And we all came up from under him, and we miss him too, man. May he rest in peace.
Yeah, definitely salute.
Great man. Mm-hmm.
Wow. So you was this tough point guard in high school. Who was your toughest competition?
Our toughest competition was, well, you know, we was at Canarsie, so it wasn't too much tough competition during that particular era. I'm just being serious. But I tell you, of course, Boys High, no matter what, you got to go through Boys High. And that was when they was on Marcy. So I don't know if you ever seen the gym on Marcy.
Yeah. Right around the corner from my brother. My brother lives right around the corner. Yeah.
They got the big old pillars that play defense for you because you got to always keep an eye on them. And, you know, man, we had some rivalry games there at the High. South Shore was a newly formed school later on. They came around in the early 70s, 73s, and so forth. And they started getting a lot of players because now instead of everybody sitting in Canarsie, they was going to South Shore.
South Shore.
And they gave us a little bit, but nothing, you know, it was a rivalry. But we handled our business, man. We had so many ball players that was so good in the way we coached. Lafayette
was good.
Lafayette was good. And then of course we had to go up against like Clinton and with Butch Lee and all those kind of guys. So Clinton High School was, you know, the Bronx and those type of teams were really tough teams for us. But we were a very successful program, not just a team, a program. And within 4 years, We went back. We went 24-0. So the first year with World Be Free and all of us, that was 24-0. And then Curtis Redding and them came back in 75 and 76. And they was the first Canarsie team to be ranked #1 in the country. Curtis Redding,
Wow.
Ty Latson, um, Ty Waiters, Gibbs.
What year was that?
Excuse me?
What year was that?
That was 75, 75, 76, or 76, 77, one of those years, yeah, right in between. In fact,
I gotta check that out.
It was 76, 75 because Geoff Huston, remember Geoff Huston, right?
Yes, yes.
He played for Canarsie he was a senior in 75, him and Dennis West. So those two guys was really good ball players as well.
Yeah, he sharp guy.
Yeah.
The last time I saw him, he was running recreation center down Lower Manhattan.
Yeah, well, he's not there now. He done moved to Florida and everything. So.
Yeah, I know he probably retired some years ago.
Yeah, some time ago. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Did you play against Mel Davis?
Who?
Mel Davis.
No. Mel is before my time. Mel Davis went to school with my brother at Boys High. Killer, they used to call him. No, he got me maybe about 3 or 4 years. Yeah. Around my oldest brother's age. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was on I think last week, and I didn't know his nickname was Killer. So I was walking around the community and asking people about him. You know, y'all gonna have Mel Davis on the show. Check him out. We're gonna be on Instagram. So I was like, yo, you gonna have Killer?
Yeah.
I was like, Killer?
Yeah.
Right? So, right before the show, his daughter reposted the flyer and she put Mel Killer Davis. And I said, wow, this is official. It's official, right?
It's official. That's Mel had a great, now let me tell you something. That guy was amazing. He went to South St. John's and he had a great high school career, a great college career, and went into the pros, did his great businessman. And he actually, like you said, he became one of the top guys for the Knicks. And later on became in their front office and so forth. Helped a lot of people as well. Yep.
Definitely. Great man. So is yourself. So, Coach, I don't mean to put you in the hot seat, but there comes a time when a ball player comes into a zone and they face a competitor that they look forward to playing. And it's either you bust his ass or he bust your ass. Who ass did you bust to let you know you had game?
Oh man, that's a good question, man. You know, the thing about it is, we played so much ball, man, and every park that we went through, man, we went to every park and everything. I got to tell you, you don't know this guy's name. His name is Charlie Chris. Charlie Chris we played in the Pro-Am game up in Roberto Clemente State Park. And I was up there playing because we normally play pro league like that. I was like 27, 28 years old. So you know you're in your game now.
That's right. You're in your prime. That's right. Yeah.
And I went up there and I played with Bobby Hunter. The big Bobby Hunter. Bobby Hunter was with Gold Crowder, but when we played real ball. And I had to play against this guy, Charlie Chris. Now, Charlie Chris was one of those stocky, real good ball players. He was dropping 39, 40 points on everybody, man.
Woo.
And, man, I was there. Whew. I had this wicked crossover dribble, man.
Tell him, Coach.
Anybody, no, I mean, they didn't have no YouTube and videos and stuff, like that. So I can only tell you the thing, but ask anybody that ever actually seen me play in my days. But at 27, 28, it was the crossover and the jumper that came together. You know what I'm saying? It was like
right.
before it was crossover into the hoop, layoff, finger rolls and stuff. But then once the jumpers started kicking, it was a wrap, man. So I scored a lot of points there, and it was my first time where I got offered to try out for the Atlanta Hawks. And yeah, so I actually went down to the whole sessions that they were having in Atlanta. Pretty cool, man. It was real nice. I was coaching at the same time at that time, so my heart was really into coaching. I went down there and had some fun. Um, my guys back at Ditmas was waiting for me to come back, thinking I'm gonna make it and so forth. Here you got all these Division I team players. These guys is like, this is for the money, man. I was like happy to be there and had some fun. I didn't take it as serious as I should have because I really wanted to coach. That Mark Ryder was in my head so much that I had to get back to start coaching my kids. And that's when guys like Rolando and John Sally and all those guys, they weren't really no ball players at that time. They were learning the game, you know, which their stories are unique. But yeah, but that game, Charlie Chris, I always remember him because he was a hard guy to guard. He always went right, but you couldn't stop him because he was super fast, super quick. But I held my own in that game and scored pretty well and assist and did a lot of stuff with that. And had the crowd going with the crossover dribble.
Did Charlie Chris play in the NBA?
Charlie Chris went, I think he played a couple of years in the NBA. I think so, yeah.
Yeah, somebody said he played for the Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah, he was the guy that made the team. So.
Oh, okay. Well, listen, look, I always talk about the game when I played against Anthony Mason in West Fourth when he first joined the Knicks. And, you know, I had 28, he had 34. And that's the game when Earl got into that incident with Elma. It was that game.
Wow. Yes.
Right?
You remember that
game?
So I didn't remember the Charlie Chris game. I didn't remember, but this is what they do on Basketball Heads. They start allowing you to remember something like this here. I don't know, Charlie might come and say, yeah, but I got you this time, you know.
Hey, listen, look, hey, so. That's right. Hey, Anthony was playing in the league. It just let me know that I could play there too. So that's all it says.
You know what? It's interesting because back then, man, a lot of guys went into the league, Division I. When you play down at the Brownsville Recreation Center, I could have named a whole bunch of guys down there on St. John's Rec where you stepped on that court. Even if you didn't play, even if it wasn't an organized game, it was one of those games that when you walked in the gym or you go to Soul in the Hole,
yeah,
you got to bring your A game, man. You know,
that's right.
Lincoln Terrace Park with Joe Washington and all of them. Nah, you got to come. Every night you got to come ready. And we did this every night. We were ballers, man. We were fiends, man. We went everywhere. Allentown, Pennsylvania with the Allentown Jets. Played on those teams and played Dow Dawkins and all of those guys. Me and World and the rest of the guys, we jump on there and go, you know. And
that's crazy good. I had a conversation with Garfield Smith, the Maryland great, yesterday, and we were talking about the guys from the other boroughs coming to Brooklyn, right?
Yeah. My
argument was Brooklyn guys go everywhere to play.
Yes.
And not too many people come to Brooklyn to play.
Right. You're absolutely right. As we got older, the younger people start to go venture out. In fact, we got a lot of Brooklyn kids that play for teams that's not even from Brooklyn. We never did that before. We always stayed together, and it's just like the wheelchair classic, right? You remember the wheelchair classic, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yes.
I just wanted to get you back since you asked me about breathing. Okay. But the wheelchair classic, I played in it. I started with our brother Hank Carter, who started the wheelchair classic from his desire to help the people at Roosevelt, Long Island, the Goldwater Hospital, and
Yeah.
but every year they would have Brooklyn, Queens, and so forth, and you just got to. Brooklyn is like, yo, if you allow any team to beat you outside of Brooklyn in their wheelchair classes, there's a problem. It got tougher when Phelps and got, their era, but before then,
Yeah.
we ran stuff, but then a lot of our kids was going to different areas, like Jamal Faulkner is going to Christ the King, that's Queens.
Right. I never understood. I never understood how he ended up at Christ the King,
Well,
but
they started giving scholarships and everything, and the PSAO was great at one point, and then of course we once they started giving scholarships or whatever, not oh, excuse me, my bad, assistance, financial assistance, no scholarship. But remember, I coached at Nazareth and Bishop Lockwood for over 14, 15 years, so I understand.
yeah, we definitely gonna get into that.
So
Yeah. So now, you moving on to coaching because you was coaching ever since you was in 11th grade,
yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
and you started to venture out. What was your first coaching job besides the high school part-time thing you was doing?
No. My first coaching job ever was Ditmas All Stars. And I created that team, the Ditmas All Star team. My first group of guys was guys like Dow Johnson. They were only about a little bit younger than me, to be honest with you, maybe 2 years, and I was taking teams that was my roughneck team. So basically, I used to take them to Arthur Kill Road Penitentiary and let them play there and get a chance to see what it like to be in the prison. And I was only in my 11th, 12th grade myself, but I was just, that was my leadership skills at that time. And then my oldest player that I've ever coached, he just died, and he died at the age of 61. So basically, he was the first player that I ever coached, and so I understood that coaching didn't have anything to do with your age. It had to do with the passion and you're willing to learn. And this is what I tell my coaches now as commissioner. You got to put in the work, man. So I would learn from everybody. I would go around, first one, foremost, Mark Reiner was great. Barney Davis, um, Lester Roberts, his organization skills and all that stuff. Gil Reynolds, the way he taught fundamentals, I Gil fundamentals, and and I would take things from everybody, and then as I went into college, I was under Al Pemberton, Coach Pemberton, and Coach Robert Fox. Fox was a basketball genius. I mean, he was really, he taught me a lot about not just playing the game, but coaching the game as well. And so I started that Ditmas All Stars. I started the Ditmas All Star Basketball League at Ditmas Park, and it became one of the premier basketball leagues. So if you didn't make it over to Brevoort, people had to run from Brevoort over to Ditmas, and I had every top player playing in Ditmas, from Alvin King, Bernard King, Geoff Huston, you name it. Everybody played in that park, and I was a senior in high school running that tournament. Curtis Redding, Ty Latson, all the guys, man, that came up during those eras,
Wow, that's a first. I've never heard someone in high school coaching rather, than having their own league. So salute to you, Coach. So my guy, Sirius Styles wanted to know, who was the coach that you coached against to let you know that you could coach?
All right, now listen. That's like playing Styles. Your dude Styles, he's there.
He's on here, Sirius Styles. Yep, he went to Grady.
Cool.
He played for Grady.
Styles, let me just say this to you. when I went, there were some games. I used to coach at junior high school, 275. I had some incredible young players there. Rob Phelps came from 275. Then you had
Yeah.
LeBron O'Neal. You had Cassie Folks. I had some players. We got so good in the junior high school level that I would take them to play against high schools. We played Bishop Loughlin, Nas, all of their teams and kill them and play them.
Wow.
So when I got into Nazareth High School, the coach that got me to the point where I knew that I was there in a institutionalized thing, not on the sidelines because I coached there, but I'm talking about organized, institutionalized basketball, within the high school ranks. Jack Curran,
Wow.
rest in peace.
Yes.
Jack Curran
Yes.
came to my school at NAS, and he came with a team. I'm talking about Kenny Anderson, Ralph James, Wordan 6'9", 6'10", all of these. I mean, and Kenny was, Kenny was the man.
He was there.
wherever
Yeah. New
Kenny
York
goes,
City Dome.
yeah, you got to be there. He was incredible too, man. Kenny is no joke.
Yeah.
But one of the things, the greatest compliment was when they came into Nazareth. They had blew us out at Malloy. They really did. Because you couldn't do nothing. I had Rob Phelps was my center. And he was a sophomore.
Wow.
And I basically, when they came to Nas, man, we lost a close game to them. And they left, they walked out here sweating and so forth. And and the coach Curran said to me, he said, you know what? He said, your kids were well prepared.
Wow.
Now this was the legendary Coach Curran. And
Yeah.
and basically from that point on, I knew that it was important that people knew that, hey, this guy knows what the heck he's doing. And I studied under John Wooden. I used to pay money to go to his camp. Lou Carnesecca was my man. That was my dude right there. Lou Carnesecca and Red Saracen. So these were guys that I went under, Dean Smith, and I paid money to go learn how to coach from those guys. So I knew how to be prepared with my guys and get them ready and so forth. But Jack Curran's team and us having to try to stop Kenny Anderson and working with our community guys. We didn't have no superstars, none of the things they had. That was my opening to say, you know what, I could coach on this league. Because, at that time, the Catholic School League was, wow, so highly sophisticated, and especially with me being a black guy coming in there to coach. I want to let you know the book you talked about, I heard you mention Confession of a Mad Black Coach.
Yes.
That book was written after I finished my career, after I retired. And the reason why I wrote that book is it's Confession of a Mad Black Coach. Not that I was mad, I was talking about making a difference. And my confession was that I really give jack about basketball. I was more interested in how do I use this game to save the lives of my young black boys in our community. How do I use this game to impact? I got that Mark Reiner mentality that you're going to change the community. So I use this sport instead of having the sport use me. And basically, that was my whole thing. So in that book, it spells out, and for the first time, I told my life story in it, and it stunned a lot of people because no one knew, because I wouldn't let anybody know what my life, what I had to grow through, because I don't go through this, and I grow through these experiences. And we want everybody to go through experiences, because you just go through it, you don't get anything.
That's right.
So, so this book was there to help other coaches and help young people, so when they pick that book up, they can have the ability to use it to motivate themselves as well. But yeah, So that Jack Curran game with Malloy was one of the great. I had a lot of respect for Coach Curran, because he was really, really another guy. Even though he had great talent, he knew what the heck he was doing. Because no matter what, when that talent was going, he still was coaching, and that's a pattern that I had as well.
Oh yeah, and it's good that you went in and invested in yourself, in your craft, right? And I think a lot of high school coaches and coaches, period, should take note of this. If you want to get good at something, you study, you learn, you do your research, and you become a student of that game, so you're prepared when it's your turn.
Well, don't you think it's kind of hypocritical, and you're a hypocrite if you tell your kids to put in the practice, to put in the time, and then you come to your practice, you unprepared. What is wrong with you? When I walk into the gym sometimes, now as PSL commissioner, I'm sure we'll talk about, but when I walk into that place, man, and I see kids all over and coaches talking to their kids, and they looking up in the stand, they're over here and over there. I'm like, come on. And then there's no lesson plan for the day's workouts. I say, what? When you walked into my practice, you knew exactly what you want to do. The first 45 minutes, Rob Phelps will tell you, I didn't even run the practice. My captains did, because that's what I learned from Mark Reiner. He let the captains run the practice so they could get used to hearing their voice, not instead of mine. But it was structured and organized. They knew they had their little thing on the wall. Here's what we do next. And then I come in and do my teaching, especially in high school, because we don't have 1,000 coaches,
Right. And you prepare them for greatness, because what that turned into is a couple of city championships, a couple of state championships.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Let's talk about that. How was that run?
Well, you know what the thing about that is, there was a number of people that wanted to do stories when I first took the job at Nazareth High School. First of all, no one expected me to get to Nazareth High School. They ain't gonna hire no black guy. Straight up, this is what the community was saying.
And there was no black coaches in the whole Catholic school league at this time.
So now listen to this. You gotta, and I mentioned this to you, but I wanted to bring this to your attention. The Catholic School League, you got what we call the CHSAA, Brooklyn Queens. That is what considered one of the toughest Catholic school leagues. We call it Brooklyn Queens because that's the one Brooklyn Queens. That's like a tight-knit Brooklyn Queens. Then you have the CHSA, Manhattan, Bronx, and so forth. So they did have a black coach, and I want to respect Xavier. Not Severian, but Xavier. There was a black coach, a brother that was there, Xavier. I was the first black coach, head coach varsity for the CHSAA Brooklyn Queens.
Gotcha.
Which was the
power ranking, the power school.
You got Bishop Lachlan, you got Christ the King, St. Francis, Bishop Ford, Holy Cross, all of those teams that was like, you don't get into that, And so when I got the job, I was very confident. By that time, I had worked, did internship with St. John's University, which is Lou Conasecca. So people didn't know that Lou Conasecca is the godfather of the Catholic School League. So, at that time, oh yeah. So basically, I used to help Lou run his camps. I recruited players, in terms of introducing players to the school. I did a lot of learning under Lou Conasecca for about 3 or 4 years. And so when it was my time to become coach, I had to have the godfather make them an offer they couldn't refuse. By giving them a call at least to say, hey, this guy is a credible guy. You need to, really look into him. So when I went into the interview, the school had averaged about 4 wins a year for the previous 3 years. 4 wins.
Right.
They had not beaten any of the other Brooklyn Queens teams since when I got there in those 4 years. Before I got there, And so I came in and in my interview I said, um, they said, well, when are you going to tell people? When do you want to do an interview about you being the first black coach? I said, I don't want to do an interview about me being the first black coach. Because see, what you call attention to, you draw attention to. So I'm a coach. I don't want you to write nothing about me being the first black coach. I want you to write about me being a coach that happens to be black. And I switched that around, and I was very strict on that because I was not going to allow you to push me. Oh, you're the first black coach. That's your fault. Y'all, it ain't my fault. Being first. Oh, you're the first black coach. I know it sounds celebratory, but the reality is, I am a coach first. I'm a human being. I'm black, and I want you to know that I can coach. I learned from Lester Roberts. I learned from Ray Haskins. I learned from Gil Reynolds. I'm coming in. Y'all not going to get what y'all think y'all going to get. They used to call us PSAL coaches. That was another terminology for black coach.
Wow.
You know, so in my first year, we won 5 games. And in those 5 games, it was the first time we won one more game than we did all those other years. We won two league games, and one of them was at Madison Square Garden.
Wow.
The team picked us, figuring that was going to be an automatic win for them. So they was the host for the Garden game, and they picked us to come in, and we upset them. That was Bishop Ford, and
wow.
just went off in that game. He was a freshman, and so then the second year, we started off shaky. We had lost like 10 games. It was like 2-10 or something like that. And by mid-season, we ran off 16 games in a row.
Wow.
And that included the city championship, and then we went up into the states. We lost the state championship by 2 points, and then the following year we came back and we won the city and the state.
Wow.
And so this is in 3 years. So guess what? I decided to grant the Daily News a story on me. And you know who I granted to? Stephen A. Smith.
Wow. Oh, wow. I was going to say Bill Travis, but yeah, Stephen A. Smith.
I said, first of all, Stephen A. was a young, new dude in there, hot, you know how Stephen is. And basically, I knew him from the neighborhood. I know Phil Hayes, and they went to Winston-Salem together.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I said, yo, I'm going to give him this story. And he did an incredible story on me in that. And he did his homework, and it wasn't no nasty story. It was what I wanted, you know, basically. And me and him stayed friends from that day on. And he always talk about, yo, you gave me my big story for the Daily News.
That'll be good. Yeah, he got to come on Basketball Heads one day because he's a New York City guy and he played in New York City. So that'll be awesome. I didn't write down the black coach question. I didn't even put that down.
Thank you.
Right? I said that to myself. I said I'm not going to ask him how does it feel to be the first black. I feel the same way. And when I saw your team that you picked the other day, your top 5 NBA guys that came out of New York City.
Oh yeah, yes.
We picked the same team.
Oh yeah. So what is that?
We picked that. That was my team.
And you know what?
That's the same team I picked.
I was thinking when I put my team together, all I was thinking about is how can I win. And I don't care nothing about flashing and stuff. How do I win?
Listen,
that team?
Coach, I said this. If you go back and read my post that I put up about the top 5 players that came out of New York City that I would pick,
Right.
I'm trying to win. I'm not picking a bunch of dudes who gonna be shooting the ball. I gotta pick dudes that's gonna work together.
That's
So
right.
at the point guard, right, we had Tiny
Yes, we
Archibald.
did. Yes. Mm-hmm.
At the two guard,
By the way, let me just say something about Tiny. Tiny and I are
yes,
real good friends, right? So we used to play, as we got older, we played a lot against each other because in the 50 and over league, you know. And but Tiny is a great guy. Me and him, that's my fraternity brother as well. We just recently got awarded through the Give Back program that Jose Gavan runs. And Tiny had an operation, got a new heart, and I mean, really a
salute.
new heart, and he looked great, man, handling his business. He is one fantastic. He don't get enough juice to me, man, because Tiny was the man, and he would run your show for you. So I dig you on that point guard. Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was my guy. Two guard was Rolando Blackman, right? Somebody that's gonna get you buckets, but somebody that's at the two guard that's not so self-absorbed that he's gonna like shun the rest of his players and shoot the ball too much.
Yeah.
You know you can count on him. He's gonna be a clutch player, and he's gonna play some defense.
And well, ask Jordan about that. Jordan said Rolando was the toughest guy that he had to play. He had to play on both ends. So I understand that you're looking to get roll on there. You talk about Mr. Intensity. You see the nice roll, but when you see him, when he gets in there, he's very intense. He always has been.
Listen,
But I'm glad you.
when I talk to Ro, I can hear it in his voice.
Yeah.
You can tell,
He's
and I told kids, you can tell why he's a four-time NBA All-Star. That's just what it is. The difference, right? At the three guard, I mean at the small forward, we both have Bernard King,
I
right?
have to do that. Yeah,
That's because at the end of the day, if all else fails, he's the
Bernard.
walking bucket. Right. If all else fails, they challenge Kareem, they make it too tough for Tiny to get the ball into Kareem or to bring the ball up. You know you get that ball to Bernard.
Yeah, man, you right about that. That's for sure. Bernard gonna get buckets. He always get buckets, man. When we play
Anyway,
anywhere on the court, and you know what? His level of intensity with a guy like him, Rolando, and Nate Archibald, and
yes,
against Kareem,
yes,
that's high intensity there, man.
Yes.
right. And then the first swing power forward. All right, let's call him the first. All right, what the NBA is doing right now, and that's Brooklyn legends Connie Hawkins.
That's right. That's right.
Versatile. He can hold, play from the small forward to guard the power forward. So many different things you're going to get from him.
Yeah.
Right? Wingspan's incredible.
Everything, man. Run the court.
And then you got the GOAT of New York City at the center.
Right. Yo, that's
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
I want you to know that's my GOAT of NBA. Oh, no. Just put it this way. I wrote something about this. I said Kareem is the GOAT of basketball. Jordan is the GOAT of the NBA.
Woo!
And LeBron is the GOAT of all high school players and anybody that came out from high school straight into the pros. And there's a lot of guys. I think because they was concerned about this GOAT thing, and I like, look, nobody played better than Kareem at all levels. Not Michael or not anybody. Unfortunately, LeBron didn't even play college. But then
it wouldn't have been Kareem. He wouldn't have done anything close to Kareem if it wasn't college.
No, not Kareem. And Jordan, of course, he came in the NBA. He took that thing to a whole nother level. And then I call LeBron the system. To me, everybody played in a system. LeBron brings the system.
Wow.
And he never had a coach that was Hall of Fame coach like John Wooden and all these other guys. Kareem had John Wooden. Michael had Dean Smith. Even they played in the NBA, they had Pat Riley and Phil Jackson. What major coach did LeBron have?
Didn't he have? He didn't have. No, he didn't. Wow, none.
You know why? Because
Because in Miami he had Spoelstra. He didn't have Pat Riley.
he didn't have. You know what? LeBron has a system that works. Everybody else plays for a system. He is the system, and you play for his system. And someone asked me before I was on a TV show, and they asked me, what would I do if I was coaching LeBron? I was like, yo, let's get that system working. What all the other coaches do it. You want to win, man. What more you want? The system works. I tweak some things here and there, but and let them know that I'm going to yell at them a little bit. Don't get out of whack. Because if I can yell at you, then I can do that to all the other players. But yeah, but that was a great team you picked, man.
Nah, same here. Look, great minds think alike.
Mm-hmm.
So you coached a lot of ball players, right?
Yes, sir.
But not only you coach a lot of ball players, these ball players turn into successful people.
Mm-hmm.
Rob Phelps, Phil Hayes, John Anderson, and the countless others pros that you coach and other professionals you coach.
Right.
How important to you is that?
Man, let me tell you something. Excuse me a second. I just wanted to make sure that my phone don't die out.
Okay, it's all good. We still live.
I know we live. I know how this Instagram stuff work, man. This ain't the CBS or ESPN, man. So, yeah. So let me just say this here. I am so proud of my guys, man. I have a group of young men.
Coach, plug your phone up. We're gonna come back for one more session. All right.
Okay, great. So
all right. This way you plug your phone. I'm coming back, and I'll come back in the room.
All right. Let me go in here.
All right. Artist. He also played for Coach Granby.
Wow, man. Hey, man, that look, yo. You got skills, boy. I tell you that.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Appreciate that, man. Wow. Oh, God. All right, now you gotta have to get me that though. What is that? That just what we gotta do, man? How much it cost?
You doing it. You doing it. You doing it right now.
Okay.
Tell you, this is why we create this platform. We want to give, guys like yourself their flowers. I always tell a story about seeing Lamar Odom on this podcast called Drink Champs. And it's basically a hip hop podcast. Had nothing to do with basketball. And I just felt they did him wrong. And they didn't ask anything about his ball playing career, which made him Lamar Odom. Right? And with his basketball thing, is especially New York, and I guess every other place in the country, it's a brotherhood. And we got to protect this basketball brotherhood.
I agree with you. Yes. Mm-hmm.
And especially this time, a lot of people going through some things. They losing family members, friends, childhood associates, people that we looked up to. And we just want to create this platform to let everybody know that if you're a ball player in New York City, you had an impact and you touch other people, come on Basketball Heads and tell your story.
You know what? Let me just say this to you too, man, because I was getting ready to communicate with you. I gotta give a shout out to my dude, man. My number one senior, Jonathan Anderson, man. When I came into Nazareth, man, Jonathan became, him and Rob was the 1-2 punch, man. I mean, that boy, everybody don't talk about Jonathan, but I got to give Jonathan his pride. Because that guy, him and Rob, they carried my teams against some great teams. We played Fez Academy, all of them. And John was a killer, man. John was a killer guy, and he went on and did some great things, graduate. His mother was very involved, God bless her soul. She taught him very well, man. He's a community guy and so forth like that. And then, of course, Phil Hayes, my point guard, So you got to understand, I know Phil since he was 6 years old.
Wow.
And help be around him. Him and his dad, his father, he and I were like this, man. I mean, you see one, you see the other. Him, his father, his mother, Sorella Hayes. I mean, community-minded folks took care of the community, came in, and this is what we talk about, the village. They never let anybody go hungry. In fact, and Phil Hayes, he went on and played at John Jay College, and then he went to Winston-Salem. And now he coached with about 10, 15 years with Rob Phelps. They brothers, you know, and they really, really do a great job over there at Bedford Academy. And I know he watches, so I want to make sure I get a shout out for my juice, man. I need to get some of that.
That's Seymour's. Listen, I was going to call him today. Phil, tomorrow I'm going to call you because I'm definitely going to support you because the flavors you be having, I never tasted before. So I definitely want to give you that business. John, Phil, Rob, all been my guys, friends for years. Great, great, great people from the beginning. From the time we were teenagers to now we're grown men.
Let me tell you a little bit about Rob Phelps. You know, Rob Phelps, I don't know if you had him there, but if you ever go to a game and watch Phelps coach.
Yes, I do, yeah.
Well, that's how he was when he played. The level of intensity is off the chain. I've had many players, man, and I'm going to tell you, I coached Phelps when he was in junior high school, and then when I went over to Nazareth, he came along with me. Him and his boy, I was trying to get Dal Scott to come over, but he got Lorenzo and Eric Fernandez. They all came over to Nazareth with me. Rob is an incredible leader. He did very well. He just missed out, and Rolando will tell you, on the Dallas Mavericks. He was at the tryout, and he did everything. He was killing these guys at the tryout. Made Rowe. He went there, stayed at Rowe's house. Fantastic. All the way to the end cuts and everything. He was right there. And then one of the veterans decided that they wanted to come back and play. And that's when Dallas took one of the veterans and they had to drop Rob. And then, of course, he went and did 12, 13 years overseas playing basketball.
Yeah.
And
Still was successful overseas.
that boy know how to make some money, though, that's for sure.
Rob the hustler, definitely.
Hustler, man. That guy
Yeah.
hustler, man. You know that. You know, he got to take care of us a little bit, man.
That's right. So listen, I played with Dwayne Martin, right, at the Empire State Games. And Dwayne always wanted to be an actor.
Yes.
Like, we have some characters on that team. One of those guys was Peter Nash from Bishop Ford, who wound up becoming a rapper for third base.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Right? But these two guys, you know, we didn't pay attention to them when he said he wanted to be an actor and Pete wanted to be a rapper. 2 years later, well, the next year, Pete has an album out on Def Jam, and I'm an extra in Above the Rim, and Dwayne is the star of the movie.
That's right. That's right. And let me tell you, with Dwayne, and if you notice any of the guys that played for me, basketball was, again, just a tool. If they didn't make it to the pros, it wasn't like, for instance, Dwayne Shake, we used to call him Shake. I don't know if you knew his name was Shake.
You know, I know Shake. Yeah, it's my guy. Listen, I know him and Eric Johnson like this. Yeah.
He went to NYU for acting. You know, he always wanted to act. That's always been his scene. Omar Epps, they all came from Brownsville, right in the same area, right there. Omar Epps mother was the principal at schools right there in Brownsville, and everyone that plays for me must have a another passion. I'm not going to say a second fallback stuff. No, another passion. So basketball is one passion, and you could have two passions. Nobody can tell you have it. So basically, John Sally was always in um, the speaking in front of cameras and all of that kind of stuff. That's all he ever have done. You know, he took pictures when had cameras that was better than everybody's camera back in the days when he was in high school. Going around taking pictures. He's 7 feet tall, and he taking
Right.
pictures, and the pictures was coming out this little because he was so tall, you know. But he always had that. So every one of those guys, when they left their basketball, when the game was over, and when it was game over for them, they understood. I already know. It was game over for them. They understood that they had something else that they had to do, and Rolando's the same way. Um, and the best player that I ever coached, ever. And everyone always asks me this question: who's the best player that you ever coached? His name is Rigo Hill.
Ooh.
Rigoberto Hill. He went
Roberto Hill.
Rigo Hill, Rigo Hill. He went to Grady High School. He played with Rolando Blackman.
I gotta ask Ro about him tomorrow.
Rigo was left hand, right hand, defense. He used to kill all the players, Teddy Pendergast, all of those guys back in the days. He played for me. Unfortunately for him, and we talk about this today, um, he only person he could play for was me,
Mm.
and that was a challenge. So he played high school, and he didn't complete that. I mean, he completed high school, but playing, he couldn't get along with the coach. And then basically, when he got with me, but today he's doing fantastic. I mean, not a knucklehead like that. Actually, he's he does pastoring in North Carolina. Been married close to 30, 35 years. So, you know, he handling his business, but he was one of my best. He was my best basketball player. I put him
Wow.
ahead of every other player that I ever had. He was amazing.
That's saying a lot, coach.
And he used to go at me when I played. That was one guy that I had to like, yo, watch it because he played defense, everything. Very good ball player, man. Yeah.
All right. Who's this? Mr. Crossland says, as a coach, what would have happened if Eric Fernandez, if you would have coached Eric Fernandez all 4 years of high school?
Or
Who is Eric Fernandez?
let me just say this here. These people trying to set you up, man, because who Crossland, Eric Fernandez was one of the greatest shooters that you could imagine. He was a little guy. His mom's is Puerto Rican, Hispanic, but he was, you know, black and Hispanic. But I never heard him speak Spanish. So you know, from Brownsville, he played for me at 275. And let me tell you, the guy was maybe um, man, 5'1", 5'4", 5'1", skinny as anything, but could shoot the ball like these guys shoot with some distance from anywhere on the court. Incredible. He played for me and he wound up going to Nazareth with me. Played 1 year with me, and then they moved. Grew to about 6'4", and he became one of the leading scorers and players for South Carolina State, I believe. And
Wow.
then he went over to play overseas in Puerto Rico and one of the top players there. But let me tell you
That's
something.
awesome. I never heard of him. This is awesome.
Yeah, he's another guy, man. He could shoot the ball. I mean, I mean, anywhere. I used to tell him, as soon as you step over half court, just let it go. Just
Yeah,
let it
Phil
go.
said he was Steph Curry before Steph Curry.
Oh yeah. He could shoot anywhere. He won the 3-point. Well, I don't know what they call the 3-point, the shooting contest back in the days. They used to have citywide shooting. He won all of those contests, man. He was amazing, man. Fantastic shooter, man.
Now, I've had someone, I can't remember the name, I unpinned it, but someone had said that, is there a problem? Do you have a problem with some of the guys, high school coaches complaining?
Complain about what?
Uh, what they have to do or the rules and the regulations?
Listen, let me tell you something. As commissioner of the PSA of Brooklyn, I am pro coaches. I know how much money coaches spend. I don't. My when I go to the games or I go to their school to visit, I tell the coaches, I'm not here to got you. You know how you have the commissioner come and I got you, and everybody start getting nervous and move. I said that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to support you. That's my job, man. You are servicing our kids. Now, if I see you doing something that unscrupulous to harm our kids, I'm gonna pull you aside and let you know, and see if we can get it corrected. But I know that you are spending a lot of money, a lot of time from your family, your own family. When you're a coach and you into it, those are things that you do. I love me some guys that uh, the guys that coaching in Brooklyn, especially a lot of Brooklyn coaches that I have are dedicated. You know,
Yes.
guys like um, Lawrence Pollard, Bud, he played in my league. You know, junior high school, came up with Phelps. That guy is at Jefferson. You know the work that he has to put in, man. He put in so much work. His back came out. He had so much stuff, man. I'm like, yo, I know what you're going through. And I used to have to tell him, yo, calm down a little bit. You're doing everything, and he has to check the food, check this. So when he doesn't hand in a piece of paper, I cover for him. You know why? And I'm on here talking like this. Why? Because I know the work that he puts in. Same thing with Nate, with Rob Phelps. Same thing with Ruth Lovelace. Same thing with Tiny Morton. Everyone think, oh well, Tiny Morton, uh, this and that. Tiny works. You gotta play when you go up against Tiny. You gotta come ready
Yep.
because
Yep.
he's gonna outwork you. And they say, well, he recruits players and stuff. Half the time, he doesn't recruit players. Most of the time, the kids say, I want to go to Lincoln.
They want to go to Lincoln. They want to go to Lincoln. Yeah.
Because the program is up that level. And sometimes Tiny like, yo, coach, I got a kid that's coming in. I want to let you know. And I'm not recruiting them. And I say, I know how it is. Because the same thing happens with Phelps. Kids are going into Bedford because the parents say, look, I want academics and I want
Yep.
athletic works. And Phelps is going to give that to my kid. I need my kid to go there. And Phelps would come to me and say, Coach, I got a kid. I said, see, that's exactly what happened with Tiny. That's what's happening with Lovelace. That happened to all the people that put in the energy and the time. And these guys work around the clock, even in the summer. We have a rule that says that you're not supposed to coach in the summertime. I'll be like Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles out there. I don't so I go around all over and I watch these guys
And they
work,
all out there.
because what I told the people, I said, listen, we as a black community, we cannot afford to have our kids go a summer with these men, responsible black men that want to be with our kids and they're not even getting paid.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
they leave those kids over the summer, those kids are gonna go straight all over the place.
Yep.
So I'm like, look, you guys do what y'all got to do. I'm not even sweating that. I'm not even trying to hear because I did it as a coach. I stayed with my kids all year round because that's what I love to do. That rule is a rule that needs to change because we need our black men and women that are coaching, especially Lovelace that's out there. I know coach young men. We need them there to coach our kids and father our kids and teach our young people. How they gonna become a man if they don't have these men in their life? That's what I talk about in my book.
This is a great segue because yesterday I was having a conversation with Eric Hicks. He's a proud sponsor of Basketball Heads. And we were just coming up with some ideas on how we can give back. And one of the ways we came up with is to create an award in your honor for all the hard work and dedication and the work that you're still putting in. And I said, okay, cool. He said, Glenn, present the trophy. I'll do the 10 plate over, put Coach Ted name on there. And from this point on, people who get the Basketball Heads Game Over Award, it'll be in honor of you. So tonight, we would like to present the first ever Basketball Heads True Legends Award, sponsored by Game Over, to one of your former players, Rob Phelps, right? Rob Phelps will receive the Basketball Heads Game Over trophy for his hard work and dedication and the time he has spent building this program, not only on the court, but off the court. And I think he's somebody that exemplifies what you stand for and what you're all about. And I'd like to present Rob Phelps with the award. Okay, Game Over True Legends Award. We're not finished yet. That's the first award. The second award is going to New York City legendary coach Ray Haskins. Right? Now, we're going to honor Coach for all the things that Coach has done, from inspiring you to coaching some of the top players in our city, also mentoring and coaching girls, mentoring coaches, and doing what he has done to help all of us become better people. So tonight, I want everybody to give some thumbs up, some hands up, some round of applause in your own private space to Rob Phelps and Coach Ray Haskins, two recipients of the Game Overs Basketball Heads True Legend Award.
Wow, congratulations. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes. And Coach, Eric was like, yeah, that'd be a great idea, because I gave Coach an award, Basketball Heads Award already. I was like, well, you get another one. But then, we put our minds together to come up with something that will be beneficial for everyone and then keep your name living forever.
I appreciate that so very much, and you couldn't have picked two of my favorite people. First of all, Coach Haskins. Man, they just can't give him enough awards, man. Coach Haskins is a true warrior, man. You talking about a guy that is black outside. We call him black on the outside. That's a joke. So if he listening, he understand. And black inside, in the heart. And we love him so much, man. My wife and I, Karen, she, when we see Coach Haskins, that's like they get together, and sometimes I just leave them because they just talk basketball. She knows basketball. She's from North. Her family is from North Carolina. She went to school in North Carolina. So, and be honest with you, as a basketball community, that's one of our jewels, man. Coach Haskins, man. And the bottom line is, you see what he did. Everywhere he's been successful. Yet he still don't get the major coaching jobs that he should have gotten. And But we appreciate what he did at LIU. We appreciate what he turned everywhere he goes. He turned LIU around. He turned Alexander Hamilton around. That was a no school, and he turned that around. He took them young boys that's supposed to be street thugs, and everybody was negative about them. They came to school, came there with ties on. You know what I'm saying? Treating them, showing them how to work. And I see B to Washington and all the other guys that played for him, Jerry Reynolds and all these guys, Ed Davenport, all those guys was incredible playing for him, but they became men. And Phelps, that's my son, SUN. He he shines his light, he brings warmth, and he brings a lot of energy to those young people. I do want to say this here. Um, him, Phil Hayes, Jonathan Anderson, um, my whole crew from Bishop Loughlin, which we didn't muchly said, but I was at Bishop Loughlin for 4 years. And I had Curtis Sumter, who was one of the top. I had him for 3 of the 4 years. And let me tell you, not only did I have them, but out of that crew that I had, Ted Mumford, One Foot, Andrew Wright, May Anderson, all of those guys are coaches. They was one of my most intelligent group of guys. James Barrett, all of those guys that played there, they moved on to become coaches. I have a close to about 30 coaches now, young men, and that's what I talk about, the power of one breath. That's all it takes is my one breath to breathe life into some other people, and then they use their one breath to breathe life. That's what's going to change our community. It's important for us to breathe life and do that same thing. I do want to give a shout out, and I want him to ultimately, if I ever get a chance to give a basketball head coach award out, game over award out, I really want to give an award to my nephew, Rasheem Dunn, who played at Jefferson High School, went to St. Francis, went to Cleveland State, came out of Cleveland State, transferred to St. John's University. NCAA was not going to allow him to play, denied him about 4 or 5 times to play. He stuck in there. Finally got his dream playing at St. John's University last year. Was named MVP for St. John's University. And this just 3 or 4 days ago, they had named him to the Big East Academic Scholar Athlete Awards.
Salute that.
You know, when you got, this is my first really blood that I had that playing at the level that he has. I've coached a lot of guys, but not him, in terms of having my own blood there doing what he does. So I want to say kudos to him, and if he's listening, and if he's going to listen, I want to congratulate him right here on Basketball Heads.
That's
and
right.
let him know that we appreciate him and what he's doing. He's heading on graduating at St. John's. Hopefully they get a year in, because he got 1 more year. And his senior year, hopefully he can have that senior year and create havoc for the St. John's Red Storm. So
That's
I'm really
awesome.
excited for him. Thank you, man.
Salute Rasheem Dunn.
Yes.
Definitely.
Rasheem Dunn, yes.
So, Coach, not going to keep you too much longer. We're going to have a Zoom discussion about who produced some of the best players, the PSAL or the Captain School League.
Oh, boy.
So I have John Johnson, Mo Fresh Brown, Earl Aref, and my partner.
Which Earl? You
Larry
talking about Earl
Kimbrell.
Robinson?
Yes, he was on the show as well. Yep.
Okay, so Earl Robinson and John Johnson?
John Johnson, yes.
That's my dude as well. Who else?
Mo Fresh Brown, he's gonna be representing PSL
Oh,
from
Mo
Grady.
Brown?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be pretty good, man. I saw you had James Major on here once, right?
Had James Majors.
Yeah.
Yo, James Majors created the craziest question that now I'm going to be asking my fellow ballers who play college ball. He said when he was at Seton Hall, they received $5 for meal money.
Yeah.
Now listen, I went to Fairleigh Dickinson,
Mm.
and we was on a road trip. We got 300 or more dollars.
Yep.
Now I'm saying these guys are in the Big East. Was somebody pocketing that money?
Well, you know what Seton Hall is. I mean, they don't do that now. You know, these guys are flying all over the place, private jets.
Right, right.
But Seton Hall at that time when James was there, they wouldn't really remember. They only had like one big building, and I mean, they was growing at that time. He went there, um, but yeah, they was having it rough, man. That's a shame. $5.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
It's been a running joke, but it's a great conversation piece, and we get to get an insight of how other college ball players would live it.
Hey, you know what is? I want to just let you know that are you familiar with Craig Booth?
No.
Craig Booth played ball at South Shore, but he is producing this uh, documentary called Ball Side Middle. Ball Side Middle, and it's a documentary um, talking about the 70s and the 80s of Brooklyn basketball. Um, a major piece that he's doing, um, and we've been everyone's been supporting him and so forth. Go online if you go on email. I'm sorry if you go on Facebook or any of those places. Look for Ball Side Middle, and
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check that out.
that's
I would love to sit down and have a conversation with him.
yeah. He would be great to have a conversation with because he's another basketball scholar. He knows basketball, and he's been going around filming and doing a lot of talks to a lot of folks. And I told him I would be on here tonight. But yeah, you need. I'll make sure that y'all reach each other.
Oh, that would be awesome. Because another one of the reasons why we wanted to create the podcast is kind of bridge the gap between the past and the future ball players. Because I was speaking to some guys today and they had no idea who Rolando Blackman was.
Wow.
So I had to give them a little history, told them get on their phones. Like, you guys, if you play this game, you should become students of the game, right? It was two young men, and they was out there shooting around. They were in their sandals, and I'm like, how do you get in the court with sandals? Like, as soon as you step on the court,
Right.
you can be ready to play.
You better be ready. Yes. You're right.
So it was like they're waiting for other guys to come down. I said, it's two of y'all here. Y'all should be working on some drills. And if you don't know any, I can show you some real quick because I'm in the transition to going somewhere. But I see you guys out here. I know you guys play high school basketball. One just finished up at Brooklyn Collegiate, and the other one is at Boys and Girls. He has another year. So I'm saying, don't waste any time, fellas. You know, time is of an essence.
I know.
Don't waste it.
I don't know if you're familiar with us building the New York City High School Basketball Hall of Fame and
No, you were
training
telling me that.
in Texas.
I was just about to ask you about that.
Right. And the reason why we building it, and we have the endorsement of Eric Adams, the borough president, and we've been looking at properties and so forth. My partners, I don't know if you know Rich Mason.
Yeah, heard of him. Yeah.
Yeah, Rich is powerful. He's a historian when it comes to basketball here in Brooklyn. Um, but one of the reasons why we're doing that is because what we found is because these schools are being split up, closed, the kids don't know their history. I
Yeah.
went to Canarsie High School and we just talked to them. They didn't know anything about World Be Free, Geoff Huston, none of those folks. John Sally, they didn't know any of those guys. And even Pearl Washington, man, Pearl was working at the great Pearl Washington was working at
Hold
Canarsie.
on for a sec. Yo, Jay, come here for a sec. Sorry about that. My artist is about to leave out here.
Okay, cool.
Um, you want to take that Ray post, that Ray picture and touch it up? Yeah, this right here too. Sorry about that, Coach.
Yeah, but the great Pearl Washington, the kids didn't know who he was. And Pearl, I used to go into his office and I said, Pearl, you got to put some stuff up. And Pearl was that modest type guy. He like, look, you know what? I ain't going to put no stuff. I said, Pearl, the kids need to know your history.
That's right.
And when they found out who he was, man, them kids was in that office every day. Like, yo, you Pearl Washington, you Pearl? And after they seen him, what he did with Syracuse and everything. So it's important for us to be able to tell our story. So that's
Yes.
our goal with the New York City High School Basketball Hall of Fame Center, is to put there, and I don't care if you was a manager, you could make it in the Hall of Fame Center. We have managers, statisticians, all of these people that worked in the school, on the basketball program. We want to put them find a place. We even have this thing called a brick, where you can get a brick into the walls of this Hall of Fame Center, and to show your kids that I was a member of the basketball community in New York City.
Oh, I'm definitely put my brick up there.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. That's how it's
You
supposed to
know,
go.
I hopefully we can have a little basketball section where the legends are being interviewed. You know, that'll be nice. But listen, I'm just here promoting as usual.
No. You know what? I tell you this though. All outlets. We're gonna be doing when we do the big thing that we was gonna do something at the Brooklyn Barclays Center on March 29th, and then COVID hit. So we had everything lined up. They gave us the starting place. I'm still going to get that. So what I want to do is I'm going to have basketball heads. You're going to have your little side, and we're going to have all the different, pieces out there, so that you guys interview people. We have them around. We'll set it up, man, so you
I
can
appreciate that,
continue
Coach.
doing what you're doing, because we
Thank
need
you.
this. We need some talk.
Yeah.
Man, I
Yes.
enjoy the evening, man. Time go by. It's 9:45.
It's already we already almost through with this last segment. All right. So 3 people, the best 3 people you played against: high school, basketball, and pro. Now, we're not saying that you played in the NBA, but you played against somebody who went to the NBA.
Yes.
So 3 people who you played against: best in high school, best college, and the best pro you played against.
And when you say play against, you're talking about
Actually play against.
in a game, or we're not talking about practice.
No, that it can be that.
Because the best guy I've ever played against in practice and every day was World Be Free.
That's high school, and that could be a pro too, because he was a hell of a pro.
World, that was high school because we was there. World was like, and so he was really, after you play against him and maybe O'Neal Tarrant, who was O'Neal Tarrant was an incredible basketball player. Those were 2 guys that I had to rock and roll every day at practice. That was no easy chore, man. Those guys go.
Right.
And then what was the other 2?
College and NBA.
All right, on the college level, wow, man. Oh, man. What's the brother's name? Walter Murray. Walter Murray from York College. He was incredible. Anybody know Walter Murray from York College? This guy was about 6'5", 6'6", and me being one of the top players for John Jay College at that time, we always had to go up against a guy like him. He was incredible, good player. And then professional I played against a lot of guys, professional, but when they was in their prime, Fly Williams.
Mm.
I mean, Fly Williams was crazy. I got Eric Hicks will tell you this story, but and I'm gonna just close with this. This is how good Fly was. Me, Fly, World Be Free, Jocko, all of us from Brownsville. We were playing at IS8 in their pro league at IS8. We was winning by a lot of points. Fly had about 46, 47 points at halftime. So he still wanted the ball because he wanted to go for a record. So he's trying to break a record, and stuff. And we like, yo, we busting these guys' butt and so forth. Fly goes into the locker room. He pissed off with us. He goes into the locker room and he changes uniforms and goes on the other team. I swear to God. So he scored about 53 points against us on the other team. So now his whenever he talks about this story, he said, "Yo, I scored 100 points in the game."
Yeah, I heard him talk about that.
Yeah, half was on with my team, and the other half was with the other team because they didn't
Wow.
need it. And he was killing us, man. But no one was better than Fly. Fly was an incredible basketball player, and
Wow.
I tell these stories because some of the legendary stories, but he was very good, man. He no matter that was just one game, but I could tell you so many
Yes,
games
definitely.
that I had to
Yeah.
play against him, and he used to get me pissed off because he was 6'6", handled the ball like anything, and talk smack, you know.
Wow.
But he was those were the great guys that I had a chance to play against, man. Really, from a pro level, college level, and high school level.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Coach, when I see pictures, y'all get to see you right now, see you in person, you're in great shape,
Thanks, man.
right? What do you do to keep yourself in shape and stay healthy?
Well, first, I have a sound spiritual life. All right. And I said spiritual because I believe in the power in one breath to breathe life. So my breathing is so important to me. And secondly, um, for years now, um, I stopped eating certain foods and eliminating certain foods from my diet. And about 4 years now, I've been under the coaching of John Sally. I call him Coach Sally. Like, I ain't no coach, but Coach Sally is my coach, and he coached me in the vegan area, plant-based. He's more vegan. I'm more plant-based because he's concerned about the animals and all that kind of stuff. I'm concerned about them, but I'm concerned about my health, really. So I don't
Right.
eat animals at all, and everything is plant-based. And then the third thing is I do a lot of exercises. I still love playing ball at my age. Um, and when I get on the court, I try not to play like an old school guy. I tell young people all the time, when an old guy like me get on the court, bust my butt. Tell
That's
me
right.
tell
That's
me to go
right.
sit down. I said because the only reason why I even attempt to still play with y'all because y'all have yet to bust my butt. Kill me. I don't care. Don't
Right.
we old we gonna try to no. Don't play on this court with me. I said, because
That's
when I was
right.
a kid and you were old school, we didn't let you come on our court with us.
Taking you out. That's
Nah,
right.
we going at you. We 19 years old, 20. So I tell young people all the time, I love to play the game. I do my exercise. I love bike riding. Um, Anybody tell you give me a ball, uh, training young people and being around young people is so important to me. I really love millennials. Um, to me, they remind me so much of my generation, the baby boomers, and I'm
Yep.
always there to support them. They doing a fantastic job with this um, um, Black Lives Matter and this protesting on. They're so on. I'm out there supporting them to make sure that they know that we got OGs, the original gentlemen out there supporting them and giving them what they need. So only way I can stay young is not to be around a bunch of older people, but be around the young folks. You know, that's it. They teach you
That's
about
right.
everything. Look at me now. I'm on Instagram, man. I'm hanging out, man. That's how it goes.
Yeah. So with all this knowledge and experience you have, are you passing it down to anyone, um, any of your children? You gonna pass it to your nephew?
Yeah, my grandson is 12 years old, and every other day, me and him go out bike riding. And right now, I'm so proud of him because he's learning constitutional law. And at 12 years old, he can recite all the laws of the Constitution, and he understands how to use them if he's stopped by police officers. And one of his goals is to help his generation learn the Constitution because he feels that not enough of us know it. Uh, when he saw the Central Park 5 movie, um,
Yeah.
he realized right away that they gave up all their rights because they weren't able to communicate the law like they should. He's very intelligent. His nicknames, we call him IQ.
All
Uh,
right, IQ. All
yeah,
right. All
IQ.
right.
But he's now starting to get into basketball. So I sent him to Coach Phelps, and let Coach Phelps beat up on him like I did him. Um, but that's my pride and joy. And just recently, he led the march of um, 150, 200 businessmen. He was on the front line of
Wow.
the march, and they interviewed him on television on News 12, along with my granddaughter, who's 9 years old. And so my grandkids, and I got another grandson who's 5. They don't make these kids like they used to, man.
No, 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 no. They so
So
much more advanced. They so much more advanced than what we are.
hey, check this out. This is quick, and then we're gonna cut out on him. My grandson was 4 years old, right? This is my daughter Kim's son. He fell out and he hurt his arm. He came to me and he came to the rest of the family. He says, guys, y'all got to get me an x-ray because my arm could be broken. So I said, everyone did to him. My wife is a nurse. His other grandmother's a nurse, and his mother is a teacher. I'm a coach. I said, well, let me see your hand. Do like this. Do like this. And he was doing that and everything. He said, yeah, but I think y'all need to get me an x-ray. So we trying to figure out, where did you get the word x-ray from? Who taught you that? No one taught him. Lo and behold, about a week later, he's in the house and his arm swelled up. And my wife immediately took him to the hospital. And they gave him an x-ray and they found that he had fractured his wrist. And so they gave him some anesthesiology, some local stuff just to get him foggy, but he could still move
Right.
and push this thing back in. And while he did that, we all standing around the bed, and he looks up to us and he says to us, I told y'all should have got me to the doctor earlier. I was admitted I needed an x-ray. We all bust out laughing, man. He's like, I told them, the doctors are looking at us like y'all neglecting your kid. These kids are so smart, man.
That's right. That's right.
We just got to celebrate them, man. That's what I do with all of my young
Yeah.
people, man. Celebrate what they're capable of doing, man. So
That's right.
yeah, man. That's my story with the young people.
Oh man, I appreciate you, Coach. And salute to your grandchildren. Thank you for everything. Thank you for your time. I'm going to be in communication with you soon because there's some things I want to ask you off the air. But this is the time when we come to when we ask our hosts who would they like to nominate to be on the show.
Oh, you
So
asked me to.
I ask the guest, right? And I, you know, you don't have to. You can't think of nothing right now. I know a few, John, Sally, Tiny, and World Be Free, but that's, you know, we'll leave that to you. You get back to me and let me know. Listen, Glenn, think you should interview this person. This would be good for you. You know, oh, that's Stephen A. Smith. That would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be awesome, man. So any of those connect. Now, Stephen A. Smith, a good guy to pound on is Phil Hayes. So always remember that.
Oh, for sure. I already know that. When I see Phil tomorrow, when I'm getting my juice from him, I'm definitely gonna ask him that.
Yeah. That'd be good. But I got those three, and I got a couple of more. And I'm glad you're going to be getting Rolando on. Did you guys schedule when you're going to have him on?
Tomorrow, 8 o'clock. I do my shows every Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday. 8 o'clock.
Oh, so you be on tomorrow at 8?
Yeah. I got Rolando Blackman on tomorrow. And I got Al Eford from Harlem on Wednesday.
Oh, Eford? Yes?
Yes.
Get out of here, man. Yo, don't blow up like this here, man. You blow up, you got all these people, and you're going to be like my boy that John Sally is on his show every week, man, sooner or later, man. You know?
Listen, look, New York has a rich tradition. I'm glad I jumped on it early, and it's just something that's overdue right now.
Well, let me just say this here. You could jump on this early if you want, but if you didn't have your own personal talent, great personality, and do your homework like you have been, so you came in here, you knew the questions to ask, and I'm very impressed, man. And you keep on keeping on, man. The other guys told me about you, but this is just like a comfortable flow. It's like I'm just talking to a guy in the park about the history, man. You know, so man, keep on doing that, man. Basketball heads forever. Peace.
Thank you, Coach.
Man, love
Appreciate
you,
you.
man. Take care of yourself, all right?
Yes, definitely.
Peace out.
I'll definitely be speaking to you because I want to get that picture to you. All right.
All right, not a problem. Thanks a lot.
I appreciate you.
Talk to you. Peace out.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
All right. All right, people. That